Hey guys, here I am on YouTube again. It's like my second home, YouTube. And you guys are my family. I love you guys. Questions are popping in. I've got messages from all different places. I put out a thing, what I was going to do for my New Year's resolution. I was going to stop smoking cigarettes, cigars, um, and I was going to work out and get in better shape again. I don't know how much better shape I could get in. I'm 78 years old. I think I'm in pretty good shape for my age. Matter of fact, I will put out a challenge. I will fight anybody from 78 to 178. I think I'll do pretty good. I think I'll be a old man's world champion. So, but anybody under that age, leave me out. So, I appreciate all the messages and you send and you do, and contributions that you've been sending in. I love it. I really do. It's great. Just a great feeling that people care about one another, and that's a good feeling to me. And you were getting gifts towards Christmas, buying stuff and whatever, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it with my family. I wasn't had a lot of people. My wife is down, ex-wife is down in Florida. She has COPD from smoking, and it's brutal. It's fucking brutal. So now I'm getting up in age. The only thing I think that saved me when I was away in prison, I stopped smoking for 13 years. Not that I did it on my own, they cut out smoking, so I stopped. And they tell me to put the mic a little closer, any closer, and I'm going to be completely have it in my mouth. So, but I just did something on Instagram, and I do that live for a while, and then I come on to YouTube. I'll be with you guys. There's a whole ton of questions. Now, I don't really go over them, but I have to have the girl or the guy read them to me so I understand the question and I answer. I answer just about everything, and the only way I won't answer if I think that my answer is going to get me thrown off of YouTube and something like that. Very controversial shit. We're living in an age where we got to watch what we say, which is a little crazy. It annoys the hell out of me. That's why on my platform, then I cut loose. Then you're gonna hear shit you don't normally hear somewhere else. But I answer mostly all the questions. So if you want, we can get going and ask me what questions and who's asking me them. Now, Louis the Lion. So Louis the Lion asked me a question, and do I have to repeat the question too? Oh, good. So it's about doing a book and what he has to do. You have to get a good author to work with you, unless you're a good writer yourself. When I did The Underboss, I had Peter Moss, who was a great writer. We collaborated. We went back and forth. I loved the whole process. I would talk, and he would tape some of my conversations, and he would write, send me a chapter or two. I would read it. I would make changes and do things and say things and send it back to him. So we went back and forth and back and forth. I did some of it while I was in prison, so it made it a little easier when I came out. So that's the way I did it. Peter Moss he passed a long time ago. He was a great guy. He became a good friend of mine. Um, and that's the way I do it. And you need a publishing house and all that stuff. So if you Louis the Lion, I hope you got a great book. Um, and I'm now into doing a lot of things. So if it's a great book and it does well, send it to me. Maybe I'll make a movie out of it. Whoa, Tattoo Gypsy. is asking my permission to take my daughter out on a date. Um, uh, my daughter's a grown woman, and she likes tough guys and everything. With your name, what's his name? Tattoo Gypsy. She probably like you. You sound like a weirdo a little bit, so she probably like you. Ask her for a date. It's okay with me. But remember, she's my daughter, and be a gentleman. But she's a grown woman, so if you want to ask her on a date, I don't tell her what to do and what not to do. She's 50 years old. Oops, I gave away her age. Maybe she's going to get mad at me now, but she's a grown woman. She's a smart woman. She's a good person too, Gypsy. So just be a gentleman and enjoy the date.
Michelle 7936 Rodriguez wants to know, can you explain how a mob war works? Is it kill on site? Is there a central place besides pits and mattresses?
Wow, it's a great question, Michelle Rodriguez. Okay, now here's the way. First of all, it's usually a power move, a takeover, or a massive argument that breaks out between the boss's side and the other side. So there's sides. Now each side has a pack of wolves, and each side wants to kill the other side. So they hit the mattresses like in The Godfather, where the guy is stirring the pot and whatever, and they're all together, and there's reasons for that. They have lookouts. We all have lookouts. So let's assume they're looking at our group, my group, and the guy sees me and says, "Hey, every day about 2, 3 o'clock, 3:30, I see Sammy leaves the pack and he goes to Anna's house. I'll use the name Anna. Um, so he does that, yeah, well, about at least 3 times, 4 times a week. So I'm having a little romance with Anna. And they watch it, they know it now. So now they put the lookouts near Anna's house. Now, when they see me going in, they know I'm going to stay there and enjoy myself for a little while, an hour, 2 hours, or whatever. So they were already set up outside Anna's house. So when I come out, like in The Sopranos, bada bing, bada boom, it's over for me. So I hope whoever you are, not me, because I'm not making that mistake, you enjoyed whatever the hell you did. And so that's what happens. A kill on sight, yes, it is a kill on sight. But if the person is caught in a public place or a place you wouldn't normally go in there shooting, it was in the cowboy days, so you would take a pass on it. So it is a kill on sight. Uh, Crazy Joe Gallo went to a restaurant, Umberto's, in Little Italy, and he went with his family. And there was guys sitting in a club. They were shocked that he came in. They said, "Holy shit, Joe Gallo's in the fucking Umberto's." They made a few calls. They loaded up 1, 2, 3. Before the meal was over, he got hit, and he staggered out of the place. He didn't die in the place. He got hit a few times. He staggered out of the place. I think he got hit again on the sidewalk and plopped over and dead. So that's more or less, and there was a major, in other words, they really had the hots for him. But if they have somebody, and here's the people they go for. Let's assume I'm on a side and there's another side. So who do we want to take out, or who do they want to take out? They're going to want to take out the aggressive shooters, guys who are very ballsy. So they would want to kill, let's say, when I was doing the war with Castellano, they would want to definitely kill John Gotti, Frankie DeChico, me, Angelo Ruggiero, and on and on. The top guys, in other words, the most aggressive shooters. If they take them out, then maybe the guys who not only could kill, but they're not that aggressive, would fall apart. So they're going to come after you. You got a big name, you got a tough guy, they're coming after you first and foremost. So it's a great question. It's a war. It's a horrible thing. And normally the commission don't agree with these things, but sometimes it just flares into that, especially once a move is made and people are killed. then it's it gets crazy.
Um, Anthony Perazzo, great donation. Hey Sammy, have you ever been to the Triangle Club on Sullivan Street in the village?
The Triangle Club in the village. Um, I don't know, Anthony. You know, it sounds familiar, and I really don't know. But it does. It sounds very, very familiar. Next time you ask me a question, tell me who was there, or who owned it, or who used to go there, so I have a better idea. It is familiar, but I can't recognize, in my mind who it was.
Um, okay, Buster 2012. Do you have any stories with Fat Andy?
Any stories, Buster? What?
Fat Andy.
Yeah, who was the guy who asked the question? Buster? You look. All right, Buster asked the question if I have any stories with Fat Andy. Um, he was close, very close with us. He was, big guy, good guy, tough guy. I didn't have any major, you know, things to do with him. I was more of Brooklyn, Bensonhurst type of guy. Up until the Castellano, I, started spreading my wings. The mob knew me a lot, but I didn't go hanging out too much. I generally stayed in my area in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, around my people I grew up with. Even like when I got more popular, John Gotti started going to fancy clubs in New York. I stayed in the same neighborhood, the places I always went to, the places who took care of me. I always ate there. So now I'm a big shot. I don't want to go there. I didn't want to do that. I stayed, in place. I wanted to be low key. That was part of the oath. So I wasn't as flamboyant. I wound up getting a big reputation, I know, but I tried to avoid that normally at all costs.
J.D. Wells just dropped a great donation of super chat. He asked me, ever deal with Santos Trafficante? Is the Tampa mob still around? Much respect to you, Sammy. J.D. Wells.
JB Wells asked me if I was friendly or I knew Sam Trafficante. It's the Florida mob. That's a little bit before my time. I knew of him, of course. He was literally, he was very high up. He was very well respected. He was one of the people in this whole thing with the Kennedy thing. Uh, Carlos Masala from Louisiana, him, people from Chicago, mafia bosses from all over, but he was one of the guys. He was very, very influential. I never had the honor to meet him, but talking to Tato, and I knew of him quite a bit. And it was really before my time when they killed Kennedy. That I think I was only 18 years old, so I wasn't even in the mafia. I went in the army at 19. I didn't even join the mafia. I got out of the army at 21. I was in the mafia at about 23. So this was a little bit before my time, but being my mentor Tato, these were his friends, and he would talk to me about them. Lucky Luciano, Vito Genovese, they were all a little bit before my time.
Shout out to Paul Hudson for his super chat donation.
Paul Hutchin, and I'm giving you a shout out. And what was his question?
No question, he just gave you a donation.
I had no question, and he just gave me a donation. Now there's a man's man. Hey, Paul, you are a man's man. I appreciate it. I don't know what the donation was, but I appreciate it. I'm trying to expand, so I never really ask people for money, but I'm trying to expand my business and make more content. And these donations that don't go in my pocket, it goes to expanding, hiring people, bringing on a team, and making a better show content. I'm working on a lot of Hollywood stuff, um, and I'm working on a lot of content that's going to come out soon. I am redoing my entire website to make it more user friendly and with tons of content. I mean, I want to surprise you with there's a lot of secret things we're working on. Not that it's really that much of a secret, but I want to keep it secret so that you guys will find it amazing when you start seeing it.
Mike Wall, any good Phil Leonetti stories?
Mike Wall, Phil Leonetti was a very, very good friend of mine. He became the underboss of Philadelphia. But closer to my mouth, any more in my mouth, I'll be up my like I'm kissing it. Man, oh man, it almost feels like I'm gay. With this fucking thing stuck in my mouth. I can't talk and have this thing this close. But anyway, yeah, Phil Leonetti was a very good friend of mine. He was the underboss. He became the underboss of Philadelphia. I was extremely close with his uncle, Nicky Scarfo. I actually was in prison with him for about 2, 3 years. I just did an interview, a sit down. That wasn't an interview. It wasn't like the thing Patrick David did with Michael Franchise. Me and him had a sit down, and we filmed it. We're editing it. I'm going to come out with it. I am now about to do another one of those sit downs with Phil. I'm trying to make the arrangements where we sit down, and we're going to put it out every week. Different sit downs. I'm trying to get heavyweight people so you can really enjoy it and see how a real sit down happens. So Phil and his partner and me, we're working on that. We're calling it Table in the Back, right? So the thing will be Table in the Back, a sit down with Michael Franchise. Another week it'll be Phil Leonetti. I'm trying to get heavyweights, people who don't bullshit, people who know the mob legitimately. That's the people I want to sit down with. So it's not just, I'm not going to have 100 of them. And it's not always people in the mob, but it may be heavyweights in different areas, whether we're talking about prison reform or so many different things. But I'm trying to get heavyweight people where it makes sense. People talking to me about sitting down with Giuliani. I said, no, fuck Giuliani. I don't want to sit down with this fucking imbecile. And I said, what do you want to see? I'm going to lose my temper with him. He better sit somewhere else or with bodyguards or something. So, but then I thought about it. I said, if he doesn't wind me up, if they could handcuff me to the chair, maybe an interview with him, maybe I would consider. I really don't want to, but I would think about it. But that's what we're going to start doing, things like that we've never done. You saw a couple of things I did talking about the fentanyl and all the bullshit that's going on in the country. I did a few with Anna, and she's great, and it was great. She's a psychologist, so I love sitting down with her. She brings questions to me. She makes me think like I've never thought before. A lot of times you ask questions from street guys, but coming from a psychologist's mind or schooling, it's a whole different thing. So we're going to do that. We're going to continue doing that in the new season. As soon as I get this website straightened out, I did everything organically. I had no big companies, massive companies doing it for me. And they're all shocked. I went to 26,000 subscribers today just on YouTube. I probably got 1 million people following me if you added up every place. So, now I'm getting professional people in, and they're going to help me with marketing and all different kinds of things that I've never done before. And I think it's about time. A lot of people say it's going to be great. And I bring out my points. My people, listen, I'm not a tech guy. I don't want to talk about anybody else, but it's hard for me to do tech shit. Make it as easy as humanly possible. If I could understand it, then, I'm sure my people could. So I look at it that way. And I'm even thinking of, what is that thing I want to do is with movies, tell them I want to watch a movie with them and become a what? A critic. In other words, I want to do something that I don't know if it's possible. I'm asking lawyers and everybody. I want to watch a movie with you guys, and then you send in messages or your opinion of the movie or what your rating is, a 1 star, 3 star, 5 star, whatever. And I look at it myself. And then the following day, we have one of these sit downs. We talk to each other, and I see your questions. You'll know how I feel about it, and then we, as a family, we give it a rating. Let's say we saw Goodfellas and we gave it a 5 star rating, but we did that. We added all everybody's opinion, and whatever the number comes out. So we would have SammyTheBull.com's rating of the movie 5 star, and it'll be based on me and however many watch it with me, 100, 500,000, 5,000, 50,000, whatever. I would love to do that too. I think it would give us an interaction where we're not only talking to you guys, to me, but we're talking to each other as well. I think that would be so interesting. This is one of the ideas I have. I'm working on. I don't even know if it's legal, so I'm trying to find out if we could do that. So, and send, if you like what I'm saying now, send in an opinion so I'll know how you feel about doing something like that. Okay, next question.
So a very generous donation and a super chat from Axe White. Hi Sammy, will you be doing anything with the Mob Museum in Las Vegas? Also, even at 77 years old, I think you are so hot.
Whose wife is this?
Axe White.
At
Axe,
X,
Axe White.
X or X?
Axe, like Axe chocolate trees.
Oh, X. Ax's wife. X. Uh, I think I'm gonna move in, bro. Move over. She says I'm hot. That's 77. I'm still hot. All right. And what was the question? Now, see, she's got me all screwed up.
Are you going to do anything with the Mob Museum in Las
Oh, yeah, yeah. It was, am I going to do anything with the Mob Museum in Vegas? Listen, I talked with them. I was going to do something. Um, I asked for a number, and I wanted to do a whole thing with them, and I planned doing a little bit of a show for them and for their guests and stuff like that. I wanted to do it for them, and I wanted to film it so I could take it back and show it to my people. So two things, two problems. One, they didn't want me to take it back to show it to you guys, even on YouTube. So I wasn't too happy about that. And the second thing is they didn't offer me a big enough number. So the negotiations kind of collapsed. They're good people. I don't want to knock them, but you know they're good people, and I got to go through a ton of shit to go there. I'm on parole. I'm not allowed to go there unless I get special permission from the sheriff. And if they give me the permission, I got to walk around with 14 fucking guards, not to protect me, but to make sure I don't go to none of the casinos and I don't leave that place. I do my show. They put me in the car. They drive me to the border. They get me the fuck out. So I got to go through a rigmarole to get it done. And I think the number that they offered me was a little too low. And especially, I would have to have that video. You can keep it and go out first and do it with your people. I got to put it with my people. I think I have to stick to that. That's important to me. You know, it's beyond money. I mean, you're going to pay me. I get it. But I still want to give it to you guys to enjoy and see what it was. You know, maybe they're looking to shut it down, so you got to go there. Not everybody's going to fly there just to see me talk or put on a show. So let me put it on my place. If you guys are listening to me at the Mom Museum, I'm still willing to do it. I just, you have to get rid of that thing. Give it to me so I could show it on YouTube. You could even give me a little bit less. I'll accept a little bit less. Give it to me. And right, Lily? Lily. Oh, easy, girl. Easy, girl. Easy. Yeah, you're mad at me like you're not on camera? This is your show too. Nope. She's such a good girl. She's not camera shy. She loves the camera. You want to lick my face? Hmm? Oh, oh, I got it. I look at a microphone in my fucking throat over here, and my dog licking my face. All right.
Okay. Tom Shipman, Shipman in the super chat donation is asking Sammy, when you went away from the selling of drugs, did you actually sell or did you take the rap?
Uh, um, the question is, when I got busted for dealing drugs, did I actually deal drugs? Did I take the rap? It's a great question. It's a complicated question. And they did a whole thing that's coming out in April or May, a whole thing. Talus, a company from England, investigated the whole thing. Now, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but you're going to be able to see that. Now, I'll answer the question as best as I can. Um, no, I never bought drugs. I never sold it. I lent them the money knowing that they were going to buy, not drugs. Drugs is a word that covers a lot of things. It was ecstasy. To me, ecstasy was not a drug that killed. It wasn't like heroin or anything like that. I thought it was like pot. And the reality is, it is. It's a love drug. In other words, everybody loves each other. Everybody's happy. You don't get hooked. Um, so it was a bullshit. To me, I looked at it as a bullshit drug. Um, and at the end, a decision came down that they really raised the limit on my son and my son-in-law and a few other people. And they didn't have me good. I'm not on phones. I'm not talking about drugs. I never dealt it. I never bought it. I just lent them money. But it was a deal, and I asked, well, what do they want? My son was facing 45 years with the feds and 25 years with the state. My son-in-law, big numbers too. So they said they really want you. If you take a plea and you admit to everything, we can cut them down. Your son will get no more than 9 years, and your son-in-law. And so I said, well, what would I have to? What would I get? And they said, you'd have to admit to everything, even things you didn't do. You'd have to admit to. Because I said I didn't do that. And I did lend the money. I knew what was going on, but they said you got to just admit to everything. What's the difference? If you're going to take the plea to cut them loose, you got to admit to everything. And you're facing 12 on the low, 15 on the high. I said, all right, make the deal. I'll do it. And I did it. But they went for an upward departure, and I got a 20-year sentence with the feds, 19 years with the state running together. I did 17 years, 7 months on it. My son got a sentence, I think, of 9 years, of 3 months. My son-in-law got that same sentence. They were out in 7.5. I was out in almost 18. I did 18 years. Now, I'm not trying to be a hero. I mean, who the fuck wouldn't do that for their son? I'm going to watch my son go to prison for 45 years. Never. I would admit it to killing Kennedy. I would admit it to anything they wanted and end my life. Go ahead. If that's what you're going to do, do it. The case was dirty. I hope this investigation they're doing now and this documentary, all I asked them, I talked on it, I was part of it, my son was part of it, my daughter was part of it. I said, just tell the truth. If I'm the bad guy and you got the facts when you do your investigation, say it. I did my time already. You're not going to hurt me. Don't worry about it. But if they did the wrong thing, tell the truth. And I think they will. They seem to be nice people, good people, honest people. So I think they will tell the truth. So we'll see what that comes out to. I'm starting to slide off the couch.
Paul Hutchin in the super chat donation is asking, how stressed are you dealing with the family, knowing if you crossed them, they were willing to kill you?
Paul what?
Paul Hutchin.
Paul Hutchin. The question is what? How stressed was I?
Dealing with the family, knowing that if you crossed them, they were
dealing with the families. If you know that you cross them, they would kill you. Um, I wasn't stressed at all. I knew there was rules, and if you broke those rules, you would die. But if you didn't break those rules, more than likely you wouldn't. Now, on occasion, there was these sneaky ass moves or underhanded moves, but most of the time, I didn't break rules up until the end when I walked away. I never broke rules. And when I did break rules, I faced the music. I told my family always, don't blame the hit guy who comes down. If I got hit and died because I broke the rules, I took the oath. I know the rules. And so I wasn't stressed at all, worried about it from day to day. You know when you worry, Paul, is when you cheat and lie. You're always worried about, I wonder if they find out what happened. I never had that feeling. I never cheated. I never lied to my friends, my bosses, when I had to give up money. I never, I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to tell him I'm going to cheat some of his end. I never did shit like that. Wasn't important to me. I thought it was the wrong thing personally. So I never did stuff like that. So I really didn't worry too much. There's hits I went on that I was concerned. The Johnny Keys hit being one of them. I took a hit. I mean, I didn't. I was given it. I didn't, ask for it, but I was given that hit. It was a mission impossible, and I was concerned about that hit. But I never walked around all that worried. And maybe one of the reasons is when I went into life, I never thought I'd live to 40, or if I did, I would probably be in prison doing the rest of my life. I knew what I was in. I wasn't, a little kid. I knew the life I was in. I knew how it would end up. Kill or be killed. Live in a blood oath. I knew what it was about, what time it was. So I didn't walk around with fear all the time. Even when I did break the rules and cooperated, I didn't go live. I live under my own name. I live under the way I want to live. I don't worry about people killing me. If I'm going to go that way, I'm going to go that way. I do believe in God. And when it's my time, it's my time. So I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about, obviously, my New Year's resolution, I want to stop smoking. I'm worried more about smoking a cigar and a cigarette and dying of cancer or these other things. But it's not like I'm scared of it. I'm worried about it. I should start taking care of myself. I'm up in age. I'll be almost 78 in March. So I worry about things like that. I worry about my kids. I worry about my ex-wife, people I love and care about. I worry about those things more than I worry about myself, to be honest, because I take care of myself. I'm not afraid of too many things. I'm afraid of the movie Jaws, a fucking movie. I saw that movie. I'm afraid of sharks. I'm like a sissy. I go in up to my knees. I won't go any deeper. I'm afraid of fucking thing. I don't want to be an appetizer for some great white shark. So I'm not really somebody who walks around with fear too much.
Do you know anything about Tommy Rava or Joe Leonetti?
Who's the guy? Tommy what? Who's the guy who asked this question?
Tommy G.
Tommy G. Do I know anybody named who? Tommy Rava?
Yeah, Rava.
Tommy Rava. Wow, that's so familiar. And who's the other guy?
Joe Biondo.
You got to excuse her. She's not a mobster. So she's got the name all fucked up. Listen, the name Tommy Rava is so fucking. I feel like I do know, and maybe I forgot. I may go back with him a long, long time. I don't. But the name is so familiar. I feel like I got it on the tip of my tongue, but I can't really put it together.
All right, we'll go on. Mr. No Name in the super chat. How close did you come to meeting Carlo Gambino?
Mr. No Name. I met Carlo Gambino one time with Tato, and he had an apartment on Ocean Parkway in Brooklyn, right near Coney Island. Tato took me there. He was an old man. He was sitting there when I went in with him. He was the boss. He was super fucking friendly. It was like sitting with your grandfather. And there was a sit down when I got transferred from the Columbos to the Gambinos, and he was the one who approved and made the whole thing done. And he said, this is Sammy the Bull. Hey, Sammy, you want a cup of espresso? So I said, yeah, I would like that. And he got up and he made it and he talked while he was making it. And I hear a lot of good things about you. Over here, you're going to be a good boy. You know, he was like a grandfather guy. Very nice. When I talked with Tato, I loved him. And most of the people in the Gambino loved him. He was good with them. He wasn't greedy. He wasn't vicious where he wanted to hurt people all the time. So he had a good rap. But that's the only time I met him. I was friendly with his family. Tommy Gambino and the Castellanos, that's his brother-in-law. Paul Castellano was his brother-in-law. So I knew the rest of his family. I knew some of the Gambinos who had a crew out in Jersey. And so I knew a lot of them. But I met him one time, and it was a pleasure. You know, he never overdressed. I'll give you an example. He bought a Cadillac, a new Cadillac, and everybody loved it. I understand he called his son Tommy Gambino in and told him, get rid of this car. Why? Dad, it's beautiful. That's why. It's beautiful. Everybody looks. We don't show off. Get rid of the car and give me my old car back or get another old car looking car. So that's the type of guy he was. He never dressed fancy. You know, a little overcoat, you know, old man suit and the hat and you know, and no big flares and no nothing. I know, you know, stories about him, but that's the only time I met him, and it was a pleasure.
Matt Greenfield in the super chat donation. Hey Sammy, love you, bro. You missed Brooklyn
Matt, what?
Greenfield.
Matt Greenfield. You bet, bro. Brooklyn pizza is the best. It's the water. I don't know what it is, but it is the best. And you have to be good in Brooklyn or New York when you're cooking because you have so much competition. If your pizza is not good, nobody will come near you because 50 stores have beautiful, very good pizza. I hit the thing with my nose. They're probably hearing my bing. That's my nose. I just hit the thing. So, yeah. I mean, Brooklyn Pizza has the best, you know, some of the food restaurants I went to, neighborhood mom and pop joints. I love them joints. I was friendly with them from a kid. And then I got in the mob. I stayed friendly with them. And even when I became a little bit of a big shot, I stayed friendly with them. And I wouldn't walk away and go somewhere else, a fancy joint. I didn't give a fuck about being fancy. So, yeah, great pizza, bro.
Paul MC1 in the super chat donation. Was little Nicky Scarfo and his proclivities for murder the worst thing to happen to LCN in the 80s?
Who's the guy who
Paul MC1,
Paul
Nicky Scarfo.
Paul MC1? The question was asked about Nicky Scarfo. Was it the worst thing for the mafia? It was the worst thing for him and his family in Philadelphia. It didn't destroy the whole mafia, but he when he won the war, and I was part of him winning the war. Eventually, this is going to come out in a movie that they're working on, and I'm in it. I'm right in the middle of it. I actually won the war for him. I won't go into detail about it, but it's going to come out in a movie, hopefully this next year. And you know, he got trigger happy and he killed people for really stupid reasons and did bad things. His nephew Phil Leonetti, who was the underboss, cooperated. All the captains cooperated. All kinds of guys cooperated. You know, he made it like they didn't want to be in the mafia, afraid to be with him. I mean, you're afraid you may look at him. He thinks you gave him a dirty look and he wants to kill you. It's the worst thing you can do when you're a boss is become trigger happy. So he didn't destroy the rest of the mafia, but Not only did he destroy his family, but if so many guys cooperated, it hurt the whole thing.
Tell people to hit that like button. Y'all are watching, but you're not liking it. Hit the like button.
Yeah, a few guys are liking it. Hit the like button. You guys ain't hitting the like button. Maybe I'm not doing the right thing or you don't like it. But if you like it, hit the like button. And if you didn't subscribe, subscribe. If you did subscribe, subscribe again. I guess you could, I don't know if you could even do that. But go ahead. So let's see.
The Gorilla 101 was wondering, um, was Rudy Gavanaara, aka Luigi, a real gangster?
Gorilla 101. Gorilla 101. Louis Governaria was a guy who was in the Rampers. He was known as Louis Bop. He had a couple of brothers. Tough guy, real tough guy. He was one of the Rampers. He never actually went into the mafia. He hooked up just for a little while and broke away. So he never was in the mafia. He wasn't a made guy or anything like that. But he was a good guy. He was a good friend of mine. We grew up together. And he was a tough guy.
Alice Newell, awesome storytelling, Sammy. Where does this gift come from?
You know, I believe a lot of people have been saying I'm the best storyteller, I'm this, I'm that. How do you remember so far back? I really analyzed that carefully. What's her name? Alice. I really analyzed that because I don't know why. I only have an eighth grade education. I'm dyslexic. So, what I think about and I talked about with a few people is that when you have a deficiency, like you're blind, you have certain other things that evolve. When you're deaf, or when you have certain things happen, things evolve, other things. So maybe when I became dyslexic and certain things, maybe my memory evolved to be something that if I see something, I could understand it clearly. If I hear something, I can understand it clearly. If I read something, I'm lost. The words, the letters, the numbers, everything looked tangled up. One time I had a psychologist or somebody give me a sheet of paper to read, and I said, I can't read this. The letters are small. I just can't read it. She said, why? So I said, do you have a blank piece of paper? They gave me a blank piece of paper, and I scribbled on it, and I gave it back. And I said, what does that say? And I said, I can't read it. It's scribbling. Well, that's what your paper looks like to me. They understood that loud and clear. It was the best explanation I ever gave. And so I think that's what it is. But obviously, I have a good memory. Maybe it's because of dyslexic. I'm not stupid. I ran a lot of businesses. I did a lot of things. But the only way that I can really learn is like listening, watching, and I'm like a sponge. I can learn. I remember things. Then some of the violent things. I mean, these are violent things. Your emotions, every. So I could say, you had a red shirt and it was snowing out or this. And those things just stick with me. I don't know why, but they do. So, and when I tell the story, it just comes to my head. I don't know.
Pop World TV, Sammy, who do you feel was the most powerful mob boss?
Ma-
Repeat the question. Pop World TV.
Pop World TV. Who is the most famous, powerful mob boss ever? Um, I would have to say that it would be Lucky Luciano. I think he was involved in mafia wars. He made the commission. He settled the whole thing. He was very active. When he went to prison, he helped the government to open up the borders in this country and in Italy so the invasion could go in and they could kill Mussolini. Mussolini had made a deal with Adolf Hitler. The Italians didn't like it. It was fascism. Uh, the mob hated it. So I think he was an extremely powerful, smart, tough guy.
Hutchin Maloney in the super chat. Is there any truth to the rumors that John Gotti was the one that killed Tommy and Simone for Billy Cat's killing?
What's the first name there? The one who's actually
Hutchin Maloney?
Thornton Maloney. There is no truth that he killed somebody outside the Gambino family. That was their thing. Tommy D. Simone, Paul Vario, and that crew killed him. They killed a maid guy when he told him go get your shine box. That guy was true. The guy was a maid guy. Killed him, and Paul Vario gave him up. They killed him themselves. So there's no truth to John killed him. Hey guys, I'm getting a signal that we're about to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, hit the like, hit the subscribe if you liked it, and it gives me a lot of strength in Hollywood to get more things done. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you soon. Adios, motherfuckers.